wants. Insecure people live their entire lives from the outside in. So society is telling them what to be, right? Women are telling them what to be. And as a result, they craft their character into this very cunning, narcissistic douchebag that can get women, but isn't actually a product of his authentic essence. Right here on your screen, I have an image of a successful man on the sports field. And in a traditional village or society, a woman would see that man win, carry his team to victory. And maybe she watched this guy, let's call him Mike. Mike grew up and he is very good with his cousins. He leads his cousins. With his men, he always pushes them. He works with a lot of strength and love. Maybe he expresses confidence and competence on the athletic field. And other younger men are looking up to Mike, right? Many women in his tribe or in his circle would be attracted to him, and other men would respect him, right? And as a result, his honor and opportunities would grow. The greater Mike becomes, the more he is seen and respected by his entire tribe. And therefore, right, he would have many dating options. This is true status, right? And this is why Mike is probably someone who could be great. He has a lot of potential inside of him. But in the modern world, he may not even be known. And this is the crazy thing is how many women or how many even friends see your victories, your virtues? How many people actually know you beneath level 1? I would say that number has shrank drastically in the past 20 years, in the past 50 years. I remember, our grandparents telling me stories about going to the beach, going to the park, and they're rolling up with their friend group, and they see another friend group off in the corner, and they're all interacting. And, a lot of people don't leave home to go to colleges across the world. There's a lot less transplanting. There's a lot larger sense of a familiar world. A familiar world is like going to church every Sunday, where you see the same families and the same women and the same men, so that there actually creates a social dynamic. You get to know each other over time. You do all these micro interactions and micro dates with people to vet people. Do you have chemistry? What's their status like? What's their reputation like within the community? This is why most people meet the love of their lives or meet the person they marry, right, in the workplace or at college. But outside of those two monopolies on socialization, most people are hopelessly lost. I'm 27 years old. And I go out all the time. I go to, co-working spaces, dance events, martial arts, festivals, parties. I'm very social, climbing gyms. I'm always talking to people. I'm saying hi. And my question for the last 10 years of my life is, where are the young people gathering? Maybe there's one there, two there. A lot of them are on their phones. They're not going out as much. And we don't have strong communities or familiar worlds anymore. If you don't have a familiar world anymore, there is no such thing as status. And therefore, your inner gifts aren't seen and reputed by the community. And therefore, people date in unfamiliar worlds. Welcome to the great crisis of modernity. So outside of college or the workplace, unfamiliar worlds are basically all we have left. That looks like shrinking peer groups. People are meeting on dating apps. They're meeting in the clubs, at bars, and cold approaches. These are the ways most people meet each other outside of maybe a friend group, which have shrank drastically. And also this is tragic for male loneliness and this loneliness in general, is we don't have large peer groups that are interacting, and therefore we can't filter as many people to find friends that are aligned with us. My search for a true male friend and my search for a true queen, they have both been equally enormous tasks. And I've been going through the entire world trying to find them. And I'm like, there's not enough familiar worlds for me to filter the people to find the right ones. In unfamiliar worlds, we don't have time to get to know a wide variety of people. And as a result, we only get the superficial filter, right? So let me explain this. I was just at a retreat, okay? A bioculture retreat in Mexico. It was a fabulous time. There wasn't just guys there, was a bunch of beautiful women. And there was this hot woman from Instagram that I had been following for quite a few months, and she was attending that retreat. And I was really looking forward to meeting her. I thought she was beautiful. And after one interaction with her, right away, I saw that she was not for me. Our energies were not, compatible whatsoever. And she was instantly off my radar. Of course, I'm polite and cordial and courteous with her, but I'm not interested in her anymore. And as the retreat progressed, the girl I overlooked at first, right, slowly stole my heart. And this is what happens in any familiar world is things will shake out where people will start matching one-to-one with people who are actually kindred with them and who share a similar internal status. We're going to talk more about status in the end for whoever that triggers. So common examples of familiar versus unfamiliar dynamics is a lot of people have commented on past videos of mine that there's a certain office worker, right, in this group of office workers and colleagues that is a stupid douche that no one likes, right? He has a terrible reputation on the office floor, but he does amazing on dating apps. And he gets one girl after another, pumping dumps, breaking hearts, tragic man for the city at large. But that sweet, quirky, disciplined tech lead, right? Who's a great family man, maybe very funny and like super deep and thoughtful. He never gets a date outside of the office because he doesn't match the superficial filter. If he doesn't look, very handsome or have the easy charm and social skills of the douchebag, a lot of women are going to pass him over because what is he left with? He's left with dating apps and cold approaches, right? Or like the brief interactions he might have on a sports field or at a bar or something, right? So the flashy, glittery men tend to attract a lot of attention, and women give that attention because those are the only men that pass through their initial filter. I'm talking about generals. There's always exceptions to this rule. But a lot of men are being looked over and people aren't matching one-to-one anymore. There's a lot of hypergamy, polygamy going on very subtly. It's a soft form of polygamy. So to demonstrate this one more time is I met a friend on that trip to Mexico. And he was more shy, he was reserved, and he was not the normal archetype of a man I seek. I really like the glorious, ambitious ones. But he turned out to be so intelligent, like so thoughtful, deep. And I vibed with him and laughed with him and had such a good time with him for a month. But I would have passed right over this guy if I didn't live with him, right? And most girls he's experienced pass right over him because he doesn't give a fuck about superficial appearances. Now, of course, he could work on his presentation, on his marketing, on his lead acquisition, certainly. But you know who does that the most? Insecure people. This is such a huge problem. Is the more insecure a man or a woman is, the more they're going to pursue superficial status the most, right? They're going to get into bodybuilding, money, looks, like easy social charm, pickup artistry. And also they're going to conform to the common mindset, the global liberalism status quo of our days, right? They're going to follow whatever political trend is most, is going to give them the most virtue signaling points. And they're also going to conform their entire personality to what the other sex wants. Insecure people live their entire lives from the outside in. So society is telling them what to be, right? Women are telling them what to be. And as a result, they craft their character into this very cunning, narcissistic douchebag that can get women, but isn't actually a product of his authentic essence. And I have seen this with old friends. I've seen this with so many people as they craft their personality from the outside in. And it leads them to misery in the end, but easy success in the beginning. And essentially, the more hopelessly, dating is so hard today because so many people are hopelessly brainwashed and their values just don't match with mine because I'm just not of this normal world anymore. I don't work a normal job, been an entrepreneur for many years. We're building the Retribalize project. This entire channel is dedicated to building the towns of the future and finding the others who are highly aligned with me. And it's like, I'm not catering my personality to make it in this world. I'm trying to build something new. Right? And when you're in this position, right? And I don't watch sports or watch the news or I went out to the bars with a bunch of college kids the other day. I'm like, I don't even know what to talk to you guys about. And it's because they pursue icons generally that are socially praised. Now, of course, there's a lot of deep ones out there. A lot of people are overlooked and all of you guys are going to resonate with this video, especially the ambitious, great ones when I talk about true status. So essentially, as community and the familiar world breaks down and everything becomes much more unfamiliar, right? This status icon gets divorced from true status. So fake status today for men is like looks, easy charm, money, maybe a Bugatti, and is partying on a yacht in Miami, right? That's fake status. True status, on the other hand, is confidence, intelligence, virtue. I would say individuation here, right? Maybe for you, you don't have to conform to this archetypally high status man. True status for you might be your humor. It might be your wit. It might be your playfulness. Like, you have a strength, lean into it, right? And it looks like coming into your authentic essence. And as you come into your authentic essence as a man, you develop more leadership. You develop a masculine edge where people don't walk all over you and you're less swayed by the world. And slowly you become a man of experience, of stories, of wisdom. And if I may be so bold, I've been cultivating a lot of true status inside myself. And most circles I run in, if I actually get to know the people inside of it, I'm naturally a leader inside of it, right? I'm naturally, facilitating conversations and holding space for people and creating great connections. And women tend to be attracted to me in those spaces where they get to know me. But the thing is gold doesn't always glitter, and that which glitters isn't always gold. And this can be so frustrating in a superficial world, because if you don't have enough people around you, you are not recognized by enough people, and therefore your options aren't big enough to actually find a queen who can match you. And this is why great men aren't getting laid. It's not because they don't have options. It's because the options available to them aren't an actual match for them. Because really high quality women, beautiful, intelligent, like-minded women for you, right, are off, being the eighth, wife of a billionaire or some shit like this, or, just getting into situationships. Or I don't want to attack women here. Women have their own host of problems when it comes to dating as well. Essentially, we're just not getting hitched up in the one-to-one match that would naturally happen if we were all peers in a big community together.